Some mysteries were never meant to be solved, and some were solved at a terrible cost. It all started with a radio message crackling through the static late one night, whispering a single, familiar name Scooby. The next morning, an old faded postcard arrived at Mystery Inc. Headquarters, no return address, just a smeared postmark from a place they tried to forget, Moonlight Pier, an amusement park shut down for decades. The last case they ever left unsolved. Postcard had a simple, chilling message: it's time. Against their better judgment, they drove out to the coast. From a distance, Moonlight Pier was a skeletal silhouette against the gray sky. But as they got closer, they saw it. The lights were on. They pushed through the rusted gates into an eerie silence. The only sound was the distant cry of gulls and the creak of the wind. Then, the carousel began to spin, its painted horses rising and falling to a phantom melody only they could hear. They passed a hall of mirrors, and for a split second their reflections lagged behind. Moving just a moment too late, Shaggy swore he saw footprints appearing in the dust beside him, stepping in time with his own. But there was no one there. A cold dread settled over them. Scooby whimpered, hearing his own voice whispering from the dark entrance of the tunnel of love, beckoning him inside. Fred found the control booth unlocked, but the machinery was cold and dead. How was any of this possible? Velma, ever the skeptic, searched for clues, but what she found only deepened the fear. Tucked into an old ticket booth were scraps of paper filled with notes, calculations, theories, all written in her own neat handwriting. She had no memory of writing them. On a dusty arcade screen, a single sentence blinked over and over: you left something behind. Drawn by an unseen force, they found themselves standing before the park centerpiece, the fun house. That grinning clown face whose paint was peeling like sunburned skin. The air inside was freezing. They moved through distorted hallways and shifting floors until they reached the final room. In the center sat an old film projector covered in dust. As if sensing their presence, it whirred to life, casting a flickering image onto the far wall. Footage was grainy, but the subjects were unmistakable. It was them years ago, packing up the mystery machine and leaving Moonlight Pier. They looked younger, more carefree, but as the camera panned, it revealed something else. Fifth shadow, impossibly long and thin, stretched out from behind the van, attached to nothing. The camera seemed to fight itself, refusing to focus on whatever was casting it in the present. Scooby let out a low, guttural growl, his eyes fixed on a corner of the room where a shadow danced. A shadow that didn't belong to any of them. Then the projector died. The lights went out. The funhouse plunged into absolute blackness. Footsteps echoed around them, slow and deliberate, circling in the dark. A moment later, emergency lights flickered on, bathing the room in a sickly green glow. The funhouse was empty. The footsteps were gone. The park outside was once again dark and silent. As they stumbled back out into the night air, Daphne noticed something on the dusty surface of a nearby mirror, scrawled as if by a finger. It read, "Thanks for coming back. If this Scooby-Doo legend gave you chills, like, share, and follow Hollow Voice for more mystery horror stories."